Hello and welcome to Voices in Innovation. I'm your host, Johnny Baltisberger. With me today, I have analyst Enrico Signoretti and Colin from Hitachi Vantara. Hi guys, how are you today?
Hi, Johnny. Thank you for having me today, and thank you to our listeners and viewers for joining us.
So, before I really dig into the questions I have, Enrico, you are our analyst at GigaOm for uh, data storage and a few other subjects. Colin, could you introduce yourself just very briefly?
Sure. I lead product marketing for digital infrastructure at Hitachi Vantara. I'm a 15 plus year storage industry veteran, working in product management and product marketing over the years at a couple of major companies, and really excited to be here.
Fantastic. So we're here to discuss the latest news from Hitachi Vantara, the new VSP E990. And we're going to have a broader discussion around modern data storage and industry trends. But let's start with the news. Colin, why don't we begin by talking a little bit about Hitachi Vantara? The company went through a major transformation the last few years. What is the role of data storage in your vision? I mean, a lot of effort has been put into big data, IoT, AI, data management, all that. Last year, we saw a consolidation of the service arm in Hitachi Vantara. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, there has been a lot of focus on IoT and other areas. We did bring the services arm in. What we have right now is we have two business units within Hitachi Vantara, one focused on digital infrastructure and one focused on digital solutions and IoT and things like that. This has really allowed us to re-energize and refocus on digital infrastructure. And you saw some of our announcements last year at Next, sort of, getting our mojo back in storage and other infrastructure products. And what we've announced this week with the E990 and other products is sort of the rolling thunder on that.
Thank you. Enrico, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I followed Hitachi Data System first, and Hitachi Vantara later. And yes, I had this impression that the company was really changing the center of gravity. I mean, everything was data, IoT, analytics, a lot of acquisition in this area, and was really cool. I mean, was something also very, very advanced considered the entire industry, especially traditional storage vendors. Okay, but I saw that they were late with data storage. Okay, the VSP 5000 was refreshing for me. I mean, it was a quantum leap. I mean, a huge advancement in IOPS, a lot of new feature, a new interface, a management tool that was really cool. Well, it actually is really cool. I mean, it's still here. And I mean, from the point of view of the data storage guy, the guy that thinks about, infrastructure, storage infrastructure, last year I had this impression of, oh, Hitachi is back. I mean, and it was good. I think also the end user, the customers appreciated the new hardware, and it was really, really welcome from everybody, at least at the show. I talked with a couple of customers, and they really are in love with the new VSP 5000.
That's great. And, I just want to say, we probably did take our eye off storage for a little bit, but as Enrico said, sort of, we've got our mojo back on it. And, you've seen one announcement from us last year. You've seen the announcement from us, this week. And I think, there's been rumors that Hitachi Vantara was de-investing from storage and getting out of the business, but those rumors, are completely unfounded. And, sort of what we're showing with this cadence of innovation that we're delivering, and to be honest, with hiring of, a wide variety of storage industry leaders, is showing that we're really committed to this space.
So the VSP 5000 was fairly high end. It was a big product. Do you feel that the E990 is going to fill that gap and allow for a wider base of customers?
Yeah, what we did with the E990 is we took some of the best innovation that we developed for the VSP 5000 and brought that down into a smaller, more compact, more accessible and approachable platform, right? The things like our adaptive data reduction, our NVMe optimizations, all those great capabilities that we developed for the VSP 5000, because we share a common operating system across our portfolio, we're able to, in relatively short order, port those down to a dual controller mid-range platform to deliver the E990.
Fantastic. Enrico, what is your take on the VSP E990?
Well, I think that, as I said, the VSP 5000 was a great product. When it was launched, I thought, wow, this is huge, this is great. But actually, it was huge. I mean, a big product that is really targeted for very large enterprise. Okay, it's not for everybody. So the E990 actually, bridges from is the right product between this behemoth and the smaller system that Hitachi has. So it's still high end. I mean, you can call it entry level, okay, but as Colin said, is approachable. I mean, there is a large audience. It could be for a secondary side of a large organization, but actually could be also the primary storage for a medium-sized organization. So it has a lot of potential use cases, and it can fit in a lot of data storage infrastructure strategies from my point of view.
All right, Colin, unlike Enrico, I am not the world's most handsome data storage analyst. If you could describe the VSP E990 in 3 adjectives, just give me 3 most important characteristics of the product, what would those be?
Proven, powerful, and predictable. Those describe the E990, but they also describe the entire VSP portfolio, but let's use them for the E990 today.
And Enrico, you've been briefed on this product already. What are the characteristics that you like the most?
Well, we are writing right now the update to our key criteria for block storage. And actually, the E990 checks almost all the boxes. Okay, so from this point of view, I love it. I mean, and the idea is also that there are a couple of things that for me are important now, and for most of enterprises, like the NVMe backend. I mean, if you're buying something today and you want it to last a few years, you want the latest technology in the market. And NVMe is, it's the latest flash memory protocol. So you want the best performance today. You want it to last for years. So from my point of view, the backend is really important. From the outside, I mean, the ports are the same. It's not that from the outside you can see anything, but the backend is really derived from the VSP 5000. So similar characteristics, similar backend, just a little bit smaller. So from this point of view, it's probably performance, dollar per IOPS more than performance per se. It's something that I really like.
Now, one thing that you are always harping on in your reports, something that's very important to you, is ease of use. How does this product stack up with ease of use?
I think if I compare Hitachi Vantara today with Hitachi Data System, 10 years ago, wow, this is a totally different approach that they have today. I mean, there are a couple of things that I think is important to note. One is the EV adoption of artificial intelligence to help the operators to work better. Okay, so the system can suggest improvements on the infrastructure, and there are a lot of other things. I mean, all of this is, of course, a management platform that Hitachi developed. Okay, but there are a few things that are really nice that I really enjoyed when I saw that the monitoring of the external switching gear is integrated. I mean, it's useful. I mean, you have a complete view of your infrastructure end to end without needing multiple tools to work. So they are getting it finally, I have to say, because, you know, I remember the old interfaces, I remember the old command lines, and really it was designed by engineers for engineers. And now it's still designed by engineers, but actually it's for not the general practitioner, but actually for an average system engineer that you can find in the data center, which is fundamental for the modern data center, with a more general practitioner in the data center than in the past.
So, Colin, from what Enrico is talking about, the Hitachi Ops Center it's more than just a management interface. What additional value does it bring to your solution?
Yeah, so Ops Center is actually a suite of 4 different capabilities. Ops Center Administrator, which provides the common table stakes of, you know, element management for our VSP family. We also have new in this version of Ops Center, we have Ops Center Protector, which is our management for our data protection capabilities for local and remote replication, copy data management, etc. And again, those are sort of bare bones capabilities that you can find, I think, with any vendor on the market. But how we really differentiate ourselves is we provide 2 other additional capabilities in the suite. First, we provide Hitachi Ops Center Analyzer, which, to Enrico's point, allows you to analyze and monitor not just your storage array, but the entire data path. And Ops Center Automator, which provides automation, again, across the entire data path. Because when we talk to customers and they say, you know, I am managing with one person a petabyte of storage or more, and I can't do it all manual anymore. And managing the storage and managing how it's connected to the host, and actually managing, you know, parts of the host connectivity become really complex. And when a problem occurs, I don't know how to find it in all this complex morass in the data center, or I don't know how to streamline it. So rather than focus on just optimizing one portion of the problem, we've looked across the data path and said, how do we allow, you know, to Enrico's point, an average person to be able to administer and automate and monitor everything at once, as opposed to sub-optimizing just on the storage component.
So to clarify, I can use a single Ops Center to manage all of my Hitachi storage then?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And not just monitor, right? Again, you can use it to automate that storage and the rest of the data path as well. And for example, you know, to provision a ESX data store, right, can take 54 different manual steps. With Hitachi Ops Center Automator and its built-in templates, you can do that with one step.
Now, let me ask you both one question. Enrico, we'll start with you. Most of the storage industry tries to mimic cloud in terms of consumption models. How do you feel about that? What's your opinion, Enrico?
So I'm not of the same opinion of the rest of the industry. I mean, the on-premises data center can't be the cloud. I mean, you go to the cloud because the flexibility, and you are okay with paying more for this flexibility. What I'm seeing in the field is that most of the enterprises are looking at on-premises deployment for the, you know, the stability, the security, even if it's more rigid than the cloud. Okay, they are looking for different characteristics, and one of this is also the fact that you want to pay less than what you pay to the cloud. So you are able to move data or application across the 2 environments and select flexibility at a price, or you know, stability at a better cost. And what is happening industry-wide is that we have a lot of new financial or purchasing models where you can buy your infrastructure, or you can have a cloud-like model where you just pay per use. Okay, well, there is limitation. I mean, you can you pay per use on the cloud, but actually you are charged by the minute, and this is not possible on the cloud. So there is an initial commitment. There is you know, it's complicated anyway. Okay, so from one point of view, I understand the industry is the storage industry is trying to give options to the customers. From the other end, on the other end, I think that the majority will stay with purchased hardware, and only for some project we will have this cloud like model where you actually rent your hardware, including everything. I mean, it's a subscription. It's no longer a leasing or a rental. It's a subscription in all its aspects, but it's not the same thing at the end from me.
And Colin, how do you feel about this?
I differ a little bit with Enrico here. I think, I do agree. I agree and disagree. So let me split the difference. First, I do believe cloud is about flexibility, and people are looking for that level of flexibility on premise, be it in provisioning, be it in financing, be it in a couple different options. But specific to financing, the customers I talk to, they roughly fall into 3 different buckets, and roughly a third, which is nice. From a marketing point of view, it makes the numbers really easy and nice, but it is true. A third of our customers, to Enrico's point, don't want to or can't change how they buy equipment. It's too complex. They're used to this model. Their entire financial rhythm is set up around 4 or 5 year CapEx purchases, and they don't want to change. A third are, and particularly newer emerging companies who may have started in the cloud or pioneered in the cloud and moved on-prem. They are, on the other hand, addicted to that monthly pay-as-you-go approach. And then the other third, in the middle, are looking at some combination of the two. They probably started out, with fixed CapEx purchases and have moved to a subscription model for parts of their business, but not entirely. And so, what we're announcing today as well is Everflex from Hitachi Vantara, which is a flexible consumption program that covers all of those options: purchase, lease, as a service, and and pay as you go on a monthly basis as well.
Fantastic. So that leads to me wondering about the hybrid cloud. Is that a good compromise? What's the role of a storage like E990 in a hybrid cloud scenario? Enrico?
Well, I mean, back to my report about block storage, okay? So the integration between the cloud and on-premises, it becomes more and more relevant to everybody, okay? Sometimes we talk about offloading some of the data to the cloud. Sometimes we are talking about replicating data to the cloud. There are several ways to integrate on-premises storage. Both block storage, file, and even object storage can be integrated to the cloud. Okay, so it's all this scenario is becoming more complex, but actually the idea is that you have data that can go back and forth between the two environments, depending needs that can be business needs, or sometimes it's just technical needs. Okay, so I mean, every vendor is trying to simplify this kind of approach for their customers, and the VSP 5000 last year showed a lot of features that were going in this direction, and I think the E990 is somehow following the same path now. So integration between the two environments is important for me, and again, I think that we somehow have also with the Hitachi this approach.
Fantastic. And Colin, what is your opinion on the compromise of hybrid cloud and where E990 fits into that story?
I think the E990 could be a great part of any hybrid cloud. It obviously can provide best-in-class infrastructure for the on-prem portion of hybrid cloud. And again, we offer a variety of integrations into the cloud as well, be it for, as Enrico said, backup to the cloud, which I think is a pretty common use case, as well as sort of data mobility between the cloud, which we see, as a sort of a secondary use case right now, though it will probably grow as the technology enables that to happen better. But yeah, no, we fully participate in the cloud ecosystem. And, again, I always like to say, I go in and talk to CIOs a lot, and oftentimes they say, we have a cloud first strategy. And my next question is, what does that actually mean? And, really, and they give me one of 5 different answers. I've categorized them. One is, oh, we want to back up to the cloud. And so we tick that box. 2, to the topic we discussed earlier, they want, cloud-like consumption. We've ticked that box with Everflex as well. Then they talk about data mobility between the cloud, and we offer that with our Hitachi content platform that you can add to an E990. So we tick that box as well. And then they get into, sort of more DevOps approaches. I want to develop like the cloud, and I want to flex workloads into the cloud and back and forth. And those are obviously areas that we continue to improve on. We have some capabilities today, but we'll deliver more on those later 2 fronts in the future.
Fantastic. We're kind of coming to the end here. We've discussed Hitachi Vantara. We've discussed the new E990 product, and it's all pretty exciting in my opinion. Colin, where can people kind of continue learning about you and Hitachi, and where can they continue this conversation?
First place is on Twitter. I am at WorldC3 on Twitter, World C for Colin, and the number 3. It's a mix of interesting tech talk and some storage talk and a bit of Lego. If you can see in the background, I'm a bit of a Lego geek and technology geek as well. So, you can follow me there. I'm happy to continue this conversation there. Obviously, folks can also go to HitachiVantara.com. And in the show notes, I have a blog that I just published about the technical details of the E990. And some members of my team also have some video blogs as well that will go into different components. So those will all be available in the show notes.
When my daughter came in, she was showing me the newest Lego she had built. So it was more timely than I understood at that point. Enrico, where can people follow you and continue conversations with you?
Yeah, the easiest way is to check my page on GigaOm.com. So where you can find my latest work for GigaOm, my blogs and podcasts, of course. But if you want to continue the conversation on Twitter, is eSignoretti or eSignoretti, depending on the accent you want to use. And that's it.
Unfortunately, Enrico stole my plug. If you would like to find more about technology, where it's going, what's happening now, go to GigaOm.com for future-forward advice on the entire IT world. Thank you both for joining me today, and thank you all for tuning in. For GigaOm Research, I'm Johnny Baltusberger, and this has been Voices in Innovation.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.